What's up, everyone? We're finally going to be doing a series on how I went from severe Crohn's disease to total remission in the best health and shape of my life, completely off medication. If you don't know who I am, I'm Nathan Olson. I was diagnosed with severe Crohn's disease when I was 17. The doctors told me I'd be very lucky to avoid surgery, never get off medication, and be stuck with this the rest of my life. It was very inspiring for a young teen. Fast forward about 15 years, I'm in the best health and shape of my life, completely off medication and in total remission, and have been for over 5 years now. So I'm going to walk through some of the things that I did to hopefully help you speed up the process of getting from where you are to where you want to be. Because when I was first diagnosed, the doctors told me not to eat spicy foods, but other than that, they didn't really give me any recommendations on exercise or sleep or nutrition or any of this stuff. So I want to provide at least a basic guideline of a place you can get started. Please remember, before we dive in, I'm not a doctor. Repeat, I'm not a doctor. Consult your doctor. I'm not promising a cure. I'm not promising you'll get the same results I got. I'm just promising that I'll do everything I can to convey what I learned over 15 years of hard work, tons of certifications, courses, classes, all this stuff to get to the point where I am today. Okay, awesome. Let's dive in. The first question that people have for me is, Nate, how do you get out of a flare? So real quick, we're going to go through the 5 things that I would do if you're in a flare right now to get out, and what to do in the future so that you don't get in as many flares in the first place, or they're not as bad. The first one is tell yourself the truth. Be honest with yourself. This took me so long to learn. I'm just very stubborn and have to learn things the hard way. But when I realized, okay, I'm doing okay for a while, right? Because that's how Crohn's disease is. Sometimes you're feeling like pretty normal-ish. And then I'm starting to feel a little achy. I'm starting to feel a little run down. I'm starting to have a little lower energy. I'm starting to maybe have a little bit more urgency. And instead of slowing down then, I would keep pushing. I'd be like, nah, I can do this. I can do this. And you're probably like this too, right? You've probably developed a high pain tolerance because living with Crohn's disease is super hard. So you're used to pushing through. You're used to pushing extra hard. But you can kind of tell when it's getting a little bit worse than normal. And you're like, this seems to be headed in a bad direction. So what I used to do is just keep pushing until I would eventually end up in that state where I'm just laying in bed. I can't get up. It's a workout to just walk up and down the stairs. I mean, I remember times where I'd get so sick, I'd walk up and down the stairs one time and my heart rate would be at like 160, 170. That's what it gets to during like a CrossFit workout these days. So getting to that point is not good. You have to cancel everything. I would have to quit my job. I'd be in bed for a month, maybe 2 months, just totally sick, totally run down. Not good, right? Don't get to that point, Nate. So what I realized is it would be better if I just told myself the truth. I was honest with myself. I said, okay, I might not like that I have Crohn's disease right now. I might not like that I'm experiencing these symptoms. It's an inconvenience to me to not be feeling good right now. But this is the reality that I'm faced with right now. My body is not operating at its best, and it's trending in a bad direction. So instead of continuing to push, I'm going to use my brain and slow down, hit the brakes before my body forces me to hit the brakes, right? So what I would do is I would call in sick to work. I would cancel all my plans. I would arrange things so I didn't really have to leave the house and just be able to stay home and do the next 4 steps. So I know this can be hard to do, and that's why I put it first, because it is challenging. It is challenging to call in sick to work when you're not dying, because for you, being sick when you have Crohn's disease is you're literally dying, whereas everyone else just gets a little sniffle and they'll call in sick to work, but you're hardcore and you have Crohn's disease, and if you did that, you would never do anything. So that's good. Being intense and hardcore is good. It's pushing you and getting you through this illness, but you also need to be honest with yourself when you really are trending in a bad direction and you need to take a break, okay? So tell yourself the truth, be honest with yourself. And if you are trending in that direction, I encourage you after this video to cancel everything, okay? And move on to step 2, which is consume only bone broth and electrolytes. These 2 things I choose because most people aren't allergic to bone broth. In fact, I haven't talked to a single person who yet is allergic to bone broth. It's just pure protein. It's very easy for the body to handle. And a lot of people have different sensitivities with Crohn's disease, which is why it's difficult to sometimes give nutritional advice. But bone broth tends to seem to work for a lot of people. Super easy on the body. And then the electrolytes, just to add a little bit of extra stuff to your water to make sure you're not getting too dehydrated, all that good stuff. Just make sure that electrolytes that you're having are not full of sugar. I'm not talking about Gatorade. It's literally soda. So no Gatorade. Get electrolytes without sugar in them. If you don't know where to look, I've linked my favorite ones down below here that you can check out. I use them all the time to this day. So you're only going to be doing that for 3, maybe 4 days. Usually it only took me about 3 days and I would start feeling a little bit better. 3 days of just doing this and doing the other things, the following steps. And sometimes it would take a little bit more. So do be cautious if you're going for more than 2 or 3 days to maybe consult with your doctor or something like that. Because if you're already malnourished, if you're already feeling weak and low, and then you just go on this liquid only diet, that could be potentially not super safe. So just be safe about it is all I'm saying. Okay. And move on to number 3. And that is, I want you to treat this like a staycation, like something you planned. It's something you had on your calendar all this whole time. You planned that you were going to spend these 5 days, these 7 days, just chilling at home, relaxing, catching up on that Netflix show you've always wanted to catch up on, reading a book, inviting friends over for a game night, for board games, for card games, to maybe watch some comedy together, to have fun, do fun stuff at home and relax. Maybe pursue that hobby that you've always wanted to do that you couldn't do very much, pick up guitar, I don't know, whatever it is for you. Treat it like something that you had in the calendar already and you planned on doing. This is going to help you be in the right frame of mind, because a lot of times when we're just sitting at home, right, it can be easy to be like, man, this disease sucks. I'm so lonely. I can't do anything that I want to do. But if you frame it in this way where you say, okay, I actually planned this, and this is for my health. This is for me, but it's also going to be fun. Like, I'm going to binge watch Netflix. Like, that sounds like a good time. And I'm going to do all these other things and I'm going to take care of myself and it's going to be really great. And I would encourage you to invite friends over, because a lot of times during these periods, it's easy with Crohn's to not hang out with people and get lonely, because people tend to, when they hang out, they eat and they drink and they like party and do things that you can't really do if you're feeling really sick, right? So talk to your friends and be like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Don't bring any food over unless you want to eat it, because I'm not eating it, but you're welcome to. I'm not going to have any food here because I'm drinking bone broth. And I'm not going to be super lively and upbeat, but I would really love to see you guys. Can we watch movies together? Can we do a marathon? Can we play some board games? And also just invite the funny ones over, the ones that make you laugh, the ones that are a little bit more upbeat, not the Debbie Downers. Don't tell them they're Debbie Downers, but let's just not be around them for a couple days. Okay. We can deal with them later when you're feeling better. In the meantime, just invite the funny ones. All right. And also move on to number 4, which is move. Do some form of activity. This is hand in hand with the last step, in that you don't want to just lay in bed, because what I would do is I would set aside this time for myself. I drink bone broth and electrolytes, and then I would just lay in bed and feel sorry for myself. And that did not help me get better. Laying in bed, feeling sorry for yourself, and spiraling towards depression is not a good way to heal your body. So you're going to want to get outside if you can, if it's nice out and not, pouring rain. Get outside, do some gentle stretching, maybe some sit-ups, or no, not sit-ups. Don't do sit-ups. Your stomach hurts. Do squats, push-ups, maybe a little walk, just to walk around the house, not too far away from the bathroom. Keep it simple, keep it easy. I'm not talking about anything too crazy or intense, but maybe 2 times a day you go outside for 10 minutes and you do some little stretching or yoga, or you walk around the house. That's going to keep your mind in a good place and get you outside a little bit and not get you claustrophobic in your own house, and just keep your body healing in a good direction. Please hear me. I'm not talking about doing an intense CrossFit workout. We don't want to be pushing ourselves. We don't want to be doing hard weight training or anything like that. Just something gentle, something nice, something restorative, a walk, stretching, something like that. And the last and final thing is decide to make your health a number 1 priority. It took me a very, very long time to do this, because I'm naturally a people pleaser. I'm naturally someone who wants to help other people and give to other people. And it was very difficult for me to come to the realization that I was actually being selfish by not taking care of myself, because I would push and push and push and push and push and give and give and give and give and give. And then I would reach this point where I would get so sick that I'd have to call in sick for work for a month. My girlfriend, whoever I was dating at the time, I couldn't show up for her in the way that I wanted to. I would just be sick in bed, sad, miserable, angry, not feeling good, not fun to be around, right? I couldn't show up as a friend. I couldn't show up for my family in the way I wanted to. I couldn't show up in any of these ways that I wanted to. And I actually became something that was not a burden. I don't want to say a burden, but someone that other people had to take care of and give their energy to take care of. Not that that's a bad thing. It's great that you have other people, you allow other people to give to you at times, but you want to learn to focus that energy in on yourself so that you don't just give and 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 then burn out, crash and burn, and then everyone has to give back to you to like refill you up, right? My goal in life is if you have a cup, let's say you have a cup and inside that cup is your energy pool, let's call it, okay? And my goal in life is to pour so much into that cup that it overflows onto everyone around me, so that when I'm giving out, when I'm being generous, when I'm being kind, when I'm making these videos, when I'm doing things I like to do, I can show up as my best self and it overflows out of the cup and I have even more left to give, right? There's an abundance. I'm giving out of excess. And what I used to be doing was scraping the bottom of the cup dry, trying to, I can do this. I can push through and I can be a giving person. And I'm just like so tired and so exhausted, but I do it anyway. And I push through because I'm a nice person and I'm a giving person. And I'm sure you are too. I know if you're watching this video, you're somebody that probably bends over backwards for other people. You're probably very willing to help people out. And that is a beautiful thing. But I'm telling you, it doesn't have to be this way where you have to give out of this place of total exhaustion and just desperation and sadness and like it's you're on your last leg all the time. You can get to a place where you give from a place of fullness, of abundance, of you have more than enough. But that is going to take a period of time where you tell yourself the truth, you're honest with yourself, and you stop. You hit the brakes and you say, no, look, I can't keep pushing. I can't keep living this way anymore. I can't keep doing this, especially if I'm in a flare, and I need to focus some of this energy that I've been giving to everyone else back in on myself so I can refill my own cup. All right, that is the 5 things. If you want a more detailed breakdown, I have a course that I created on my website, nathanolson.com. There's a link below in the description, and it's completely free. You don't have to enter your email, nothing. It's just right there on my website. It's all these 5 points we just talked about in more detail. There's links to the bone broth that I use, the electrolytes, some books that I use, some other resources. It's all completely free. Just 5 quick videos there for you to check out and go that dive into this in more detail. So if you are in a flare, I strongly suggest checking that out. I put in a lot of time and effort to making that the best I possibly could to help you guys all get out of a flare as fast as you possibly can. You can do this. You got this. I believe in you, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.